Right, shalom, shalom. First, I'd like to give all praises unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Waharakah Kadash, and double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and honors to you brothers out there in the highways and the byways teaching his word in all sincerity and in truth. 2 Corinthians 2 and 11 says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Now, when you look up the word devices, the word there, devices, means plans. All right. A mental perception, thought, an evil purpose, that which thinks, the minds, the thoughts, and purposes. So, when we're dealing with the mark of the beast, we're the only camp I know of. Now, there might be another camp out there that remains to be seen. That really go deep into the mark of the beast and show you the infrastructure that Esau Edom is building to support it. Because when you're talking about the mark of the beast, right, and you're talking about controlling the buying and selling of every individual, there has to be an infrastructure to do that. It's just like taxation. I can't just say, yo, I want everybody taxed. And this is the thing about rulership, okay? So maybe this is a lesson to understand rulership. Let's say you were the ruler of a city. You can't just come out and say, I want everybody taxed. Because just saying you want everybody taxed doesn't mean everybody's going to get taxed. What you need to set up is an administration and an infrastructure to facilitate the taxing of the people. You need to have a way of getting the taxes from A to B. Right? Everything requires an infrastructure. Let's look at the word infrastructure. Yeah, it don't just happen out of nowhere. Hardly anything really happens out of nowhere on that level. Infrastructure, the basic physical and organizational structures and facilities, i.e. buildings, roads, power supplies needed for the operation of a society or enterprise. Oh, enterprise. That reminds me of Job, the 5th chapter. The enterprise. The New World Order, the mark of the beast, that's Esau's enterprise. There has to be an infrastructure set up to support it. We speak about that infrastructure. Processing capabilities, supercomputers, quantum computing, cloud computing. That's your processing capability. Yeah? Real-time information, that's your 5G. That's your broadband too. Yeah? Because you got that low latency gives you real-time analytics, AI. Automation, smart contracts, blockchain. Yeah? The ability to link physical things into the digital world, RFID. Ubiquitous RFID, ubiquitous computing. The infrastructure is being set up all around us to facilitate the mark of the beast system. Yeah? You have to have an infrastructure. Contactless payment. It's part of the infrastructure. Visa, MasterCard. Okay? Revelations 13 and 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. If you are going to design a system whereby you can control the buying and selling of all people, there has to be an infrastructure set up to support such an enterprise. And we're the only ones that speak about it. You see, IUIC talk about sin is the mark of the beast, but they can't explain to you how it's going to work or show you where Esau is setting up the infrastructure for such a system. They can't do it. Embargo. They say, oh, it's an embargo. Again, they can't show you that system. It makes no sense. They say Christianity is the mark of the beast. Saudi Arabia is Muslim. They don't have no sanctions against them. You see? So We're the only ones showing you that the mark of the beast is the implantable RFID chips. And we're showing you contactless payment, the cbdcs, all these different things are part of the infrastructure that the mark of the beast is going to be set up upon. All right? We're not ignorant to Satan's devices. Right? Now,
good afternoon, everybody. Uneducated economist here. Gonna give you a quick video talking about this.
And this guy, he does a lot of good videos on educated economists, man. You know, a lot of common sense, a lot of logic, manly logic. Right? People think that you need to have a degree to understand things. No, you just need to apply manly logic. All right, and not be ignorant.
Central bank digital currencies. I was sent an article this morning, and I thought I would share it with you guys. And it's talking about the limitations that the central bank digital currencies could have. And I love this article because really what it tries to kind of portray central bank digital currencies as being a good thing.
And that's what they're going to do. As this infrastructure, this trap, this snare, right? Let's get that in the scriptures. As they build the infrastructure, which is ultimately a giant snare for the people, they're going to sell it to you all the way as being advantageous, as being convenient, as being necessary. What's that? Psalm 64? Psalm 64 and 5. They encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them? Because here it is. All the different intricate parts of the infrastructure are being set up separately. 5G is separate from CBDCs. All the different parts of the infrastructure are being set up separately and being sold to you differently. But what you don't understand is that all these moving parts, all the parts of the infrastructure are supposed to come together as a giant snare. The facial recognition, the cameras everywhere, the smartphones. It's all part of a digital prison, a technocracy, a technological prison, technological enslavement, technological bondage, a snare, a trap. That's what it is, a trap. They ain't gonna tell you it's a trap, but when it all comes together, it's gonna snap together like a snare does. Okay? They commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them? Because the average person does not understand the infrastructure of their own enslavement is being built around them. Especially you Israelites. You have no idea what's going on around you. You're absolutely confused. You have no idea that Esau Edom wants to put you into the worst form of captivity there's ever been on the face of the planet Earth. That's what the mark of the beast represents. The worst captivity ever. That's what they want for you. And they're building the chains, they're building the cages right now, but you can't see it because it's a digital snare. All right? You know, the AIs, the battle robots and all that shit. Anyway, let's jump back over to my man. So they're gonna try to sell it to you.
You know, issuing out stimulus is going to be a whole lot easier. But then it also goes in to talk about how the money that is transferred over to that wallet could have limitations on it as well. And I love this example that they use because they talk about a parent who's giving money to their child to go spend, but they would not be able to spend that money on sweets. So like you could get...
Now, understand this, like you got all these different systems, right? So even in the blockchain, you got systems like VeChain, which are based around supply chain management. Now, what's one of the biggest crises that's about to come up on the earth right now? Shortages of resources. Shortages of resources. Now, when you have when you have a shortage of resources and the government get involved, what does the government do? They control the resource and issue rations. We've shown you this. This is, you go back to world. Hold on, let me see if I've got GMS flashbacks. Let me see. GMS flashbacks. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Right, I got to re-upload the GMS flashbacks. What I did was I found all the clips from the UK and America dealing with rationing. What is rationing? There was a shortage of goods, so the government came in, fixed the price, right, because of inflation, because of the shortages. They fixed the price of goods and they gave everybody rationing books. So whether you were rich or poor, you had a rationing book which afforded you to be able to get a certain amount of a particular thing. Yeah, let's watch this. It tells you that which is that which shall be, man. All right, there's no new thing on the earth. You have to understand history. History repeats itself, but it might repeat itself in a slightly different way. Like, for instance, before they would give you a rationing book and everything would be done pen and paper. Now they got the blockchain technology, the RFID supply chain technology, interoperability, so they can you can interoperate between a supply chain blockchain, all right, and a CBDC blockchain, and set up the smart contracts where your money has built-in rationing. So the money you have in your pocket can only buy a particular amount of a particular resource within a particular time frame. This is where you're going, and now you're gonna understand why you got something called your recommended daily amount. See, you Jake don't know what's going on out here. Why do you think when you buy a product, you know what? I wish I could go in the UK. Let me show you something in the UK, and that's why this guy, Prince Charles, and that he was promoting this recommended daily amount. Let me see if I can put the camera on. Right, see it there. All right, I got a loaf of bread here. Yeah, let me show you this loaf of bread, man, in the kitchen right now. Now on this loaf of bread, if you look onto the nutritional information, yeah, you got something called the reference intake. Yeah, percentage RI. Reference intake of an average adult. Yeah, that goes into your recommended daily amount. Right? Esau has calculated your recommended daily amount of nutrition that you need every day. So they could program that into the money, that you can't buy more than what you need. I'm telling you, man, listen, it's going to get peak out here. All right? Let me show you something. Show you a thing now. It's the RDA. Now, I don't know what it's like in America, but I could probably assume they have that recommended. Hold on. RDA, recommended daily amount. Got it. That's it. Recommended dietary allowance, your RDA. The average daily level of intake. Yeah? So they've already set this up from day one, man. That's what people don't realize. Right? What's your recommended daily amount? Your 5 a day. They can program that into the money. They can program that into the money, man. Rationing. Let's jump back into this rationing.
During World War II, there was a battle on the home front, too. The tussle with ration books, tokens, and stamps. Supplies were short, and everything from shoes to gasoline was doled out. No stamps, no sold.
Right, so you needed stamps to get products. That's your rationing. That's coming back. Trust me, these food shortages and this famine is going to lead to the government with the FEMA regulations to take control of the food supply completely. They're going to go in bed with Big Agra, with Bill Gates and that, and they're going to put you on the rationing. 100%.
Every cut of meat carried a certain point value, and many times stamps were more valuable than money. And rationing proved that the American people had vivid imaginations. The Office of Price Administration was swamped with fantastic tales from people who claimed they faced disaster without an extra allotment of this or that. Headaches were many, Housewives had a problem keeping track of stamps, and businessmen sought clerks and other help in vain. Pity the poor storekeeper when it came time to balance his ration stamp records. Most gasoline ration cards were A cards, which call for an allowance of 3 gallons a week. You couldn't go far, but if you did get rolling, you found empty highways. Yes, Virginia, there once was room on city streets. With most meat going to feed the biggest army in U.S. history, a series of Meatless Tuesdays went into effect. Housewives were urged to save fats for the war effort. They got their reward in extra meat points, and they were also paid 4 cents a pound. And the housewife fought the tin can war, saving food cans for steel and tin salvage. The containers went from the home front to duty on the war front. Everyone was involved in World War II.
Right, and there's plenty more videos where that came from the UK, from France, from all over. Rationing during wartime. Rationing is going to come back in a big way through this mark of the beast. It's just going to be all automated and all using technology now. Ain't going to be no damn ration books, man. This is 2021. It's going to be programmed, pre-programmed into your money, into your food stamp money. You ain't going to get no food stamps. You get these cbdcs. All right? Let's jump back over to uneducated.
For imagined. I'm talking big money. Like you could give money to your kid, but you know, they wouldn't go and spend it on candy. They would have to spend it in a particular direction. And a central bank digital currency could allow for such a thing to happen. Now, what I like about this article is that it brings up the point, but it doesn't go in deep enough into it. Because really, if you think about this, in order for a parent to put limitations on a digital currency that they give to their child, so like in the sense of sweets, then everything that wallet is going to purchase has to be on the blockchain as well. Or else the wallet wouldn't know what it's purchasing. Do you guys get where I'm getting at here? Do you see where I'm getting at? Is that if a parent says, here, you can have this money, but there's a limitation on it that says you go to the store, and when you go to make a purchase, you can have pretty much anything in the store so long as it doesn't have sugar attached to it or isn't a candy. Well, in order for the wallet to know that, it would have to be interacting with the blockchain technology out there that is telling it what you are buying is candy.
That's your oracles, your oracle protocols. That goes into interoperability, man. Which all that is the biggest. That's the big thing right now. All you gotta do is go type in interoperability. Yeah, all the big second generation blockchains are all built now based upon interoperability. Yeah? Go look it up, man. Great Millstone, we're the only ones that's doing it like this, man. And it's not to be bragging or boasting. That shows you that we're prudent men. These men are out here trying to do food banks and that. We're researching the prophecies and giving it to you because that's what we're set up to do. We're set up to break it down to you in the prophecies. I'm not here to teach you how to drive a car. There's people set up to do that. We're here to bring out these scriptures, man. That's why Tazariak got himself in a spot above her, because these men are too busy trying to do everything, man. Just stick to the scriptures, man, and your prudency according to the scriptures. Don't worry about giving man a GED. There's other programs out there set up to give man a GED, to give man his qualifications. Why the men of the Lord, we ain't gotta do that, man. The hell you think? Boy.
You see where I'm getting at here? So in order for this central bank digital currency to really meet that kind of achievement, everything out there would have to go on the blockchain. Every single item you purchase, every service that you use, everything that you do would have to be on the blockchain. It would have to have a digital ledger attached to it in order for this smart contract to interact with it and know what it is that it's buying. That sort of scenario is very, very scary. That's
the snare. That's the mark of the beast. That's the control. That's the enslavement that they want to bring in. Right? Revelations 13 and 16. And they're gonna chip you, like what Klaus said, to merge your biological and digital identity in order to use the system.
What people are probably most feared about when it comes to a central bank digital currency is that there will be some sort of limitation on where you can spend it, or maybe even a limitation on how long you have until you spend it, meaning that you may get the stimulus, but you only have 30 days, and after 30 days, it's gone. So that would force people to go out there and spend that money, and would prevent them from trying to save it and hold on to it for the future. So the idea of stimulus is to get people to spend their money out there, and if you put a limitation on it that says you only have it for this amount of time, and you can only spend it in this direction, well, central bank digital currency can certainly provide that sort of environment. Anyway, I thought it was a pretty interesting article, and I thought it would be good to have a discussion on that one. Uneducated economist, you guys let me know.
You see it there, and you see a lot of people, and when you go on YouTube, there's not too many people breaking it down and talking about it, because YouTube ain't really the place right now to get that good truth. But check this out, man. Esau, he gonna attempt to do all this stuff, but he ain't gonna consume the elect, and ultimately he's gonna be disappointed in his devices. All right. Job, the 5th chapter and 12. He disappointeth the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise, because they're not gonna get to chip everybody and really bring this new world order into full swing. They're gonna attempt to, and they're gonna catch a lot of people out. But the Lord, the Lord is gonna, as it says, He taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the froward is carried headlong. They're gonna fail, man, because the Lord's intention is not for Esau to establish himself on the earth. It's for Yahushua to establish himself on the earth. So when they're about to complete their endeavor, their enterprise, Yahushua gonna put the biggest spanner you ever seen in the works, and that's the bottom line. But like I said, man, listen, the scriptures speak about being prudent. And show me where these other Israelite camps are going in like this. We're the ones that's been telling you and warning you if in the spirit. That's why we're so sure, because we see the algorithm clear. We research this stuff, man. It's bigger than just saying the white man's the devil. There's more prudency that needs to be applied. And you will see that the mark of the beast is a form of the implantable RFID chip. How big or small, listen, technology changing every day, but that's how it's going to come down. They're going to put it inside you. So with that, I'm going to say shalom.